no, że mieliśmy inne dyscypliny poodwoływane, no to Judd Trump z Martinem O'Donnellem weszli jeszcze na stół telewizyjny i zagrali nam, do której tam chyba do 1:30 w nocy grali, coś takiego.
Mecz ćwierćfinałowy w turnieju Gibraltar Open. Judd Trump, Liang Wenbo, sędzią spotkania Glenn Sullivan-Bissett, a w studiu komentatorskim
Jarosław Kowalski
i Michał Ebert.
Dużo mówiliśmy o Trumpie, ale też warto podkreślić, jak dobrze dzisiaj zagrał rano Liang Wenbo. 2 setki zbudowane. Także na pewno z dobrą formą przyjechał tutaj na Gibraltar Liang Wenbo. Chociaż teraz daleko od wbicia i tą czerwoną pozostawi do zaatakowania dla Judda Trumpa. Nie taka najłatwiejsza na sporym cięciu, ale jak najbardziej na wbicie może zagrywać Anglik.
Nie 2, tak jak Liang Wenbo, a 1 setkę zrobił w tym poprzednim meczu Judd Trump, już 707 w swojej karierze. Na samo zakończenie meczu z Liangiem 103 punkty. No, ślicznie wbija Judd Trump, spadając jeszcze po czerwonych. Liczył tu na uzyskanie pozycji do niebieskiej, do niskich kolorów. Trochę za daleko zwiała biała bila i kończy się tylko snookerem z perspektywy Trumpa.
No tak, nawiązałeś do tych setek i do tej 91 w tym sezonie Judda Trumpa. No właściwie jedyne
nie
chyba...
powiedziałem, ale to istotne. Tak.
No 707, 91 w tym sezonie, ale tak żeśmy trochę zażartowali sobie z Grzegorzem na antenie, że właściwie jedyne chyba, co może powstrzymać Judda Trumpa w tym sezonie o pobicie tego rekordu, to ewentualne odwołanie turniejów.
No tak.
No i to jest z drugiej strony dobrze, że w Chinach mamy odwołany turniej, bo za bardzo by wyśrubował ten rekord Judd Trump. No miejmy nadzieję, że rzeczywiście to się
Jeżeli Mistrzostwa Świata się odbędą, to raczej trudno będzie nie pobić rekordu Trumpowi, zwłaszcza jeżeli ma się odbyć Tour Championship. No zobaczymy. Tym bardziej, że jeżeli nawet Mistrzostwa Świata miałyby być przełożone na inny termin, to i tak pewnie będzie to ten sam sezon.
Tak, dokładnie.
Więc wydaje mi się, że ten rekord Trumpa, inaczej, rekord Robertsona setek w jednym sezonie cały czas mimo wszystko jest zagrożony. Wczoraj Judd Trump oczywiście zapytany, zagajony w wywiadzie o te rekordy Robertsona powiedział, że chętnie odbierze mu oba. I rekord setek w sezonie i te 150 000 funtów bonusu za wygranie całej serii. No i też odniósł się do tego, że możliwe, że słusznie postąpił Neil Robertson, wycofując się z tych zawodów. No ale on tutaj gra i chce walczyć o najwyższe trofea.
No, innej decyzji właściwie chyba nie można było się spodziewać. To już nawet pewnie może nie chodzi o sam bonus, ale właśnie o tą możliwość zdobycia 6 tytułów podczas jednego sezonu. No to jest coś, co na pewno tutaj przyciąga bardzo mocno Judda Trumpa do stołu.
To już nie będzie tak, że w gronie kilku największych snookerzystów, Stevena Hendry'ego, Selby'ego, Sullivana czy Dinga znajdzie się Trump, tak jak znajduje się teraz. On może w swojej własnej lidze po prostu grać, jeżeli wygra ten 6. tytuł w sezonie. Co jeszcze bardziej jest oczywiście imponujące w sezonie, w którym po raz pierwszy zdobył tytuł Mistrza Świata. No właściwie nie w którym, a po którym. Czy po tym mistrzostwie gra ten sezon oczywiście. No na razie musi się skupić Judd Trump na niełatwym wcale pojedynku z Liangiem Wenbo, który teraz w tarapaty stawia Judda Trumpa.
No tak, ciekaw jestem, na ile widzi tam czerwoną na górze stołu Judd Trump. Czy będzie w stanie od niej się w jakikolwiek sposób odstawić. Tylko jeżeli już to namuśnięcie, a tutaj do pozostałych czerwonych zdaje się dostępu nie ma Judd Trump. A są pewne wątpliwości jeszcze przed zagraniem w głowie Judda Trumpa. Są pewne wątpliwości jeszcze przed zagraniem w głowie Judda Trumpa. w jakikolwiek sposób odstawić. Tylko jeżeli już to namuśnięcie, a tutaj do pozostałych czerwonych zdaje się dostępu nie ma. Judd Trump. A są pewne wątpliwości jeszcze przed zagraniem w głowie Judda Trumpa. No, dwa takie frame'y Liang właściwie podarował, bo były związane czerwone, były bardzo trudne układy. Zagrywał Liang, otwierał układ, no i mógł tylko usiąść i patrzeć, jak Judd Trump stół czyści. I to właśnie w dwóch końcówkach partii.
No, zdarza się oczywiście, że rywal Trumpowi podaruje układ, ale też warto zwrócić uwagę na to, jak bardzo dojrzał Judd Trump i jak potrafi swoich rywali zmuszać do tych błędów taktycznych. Skupiamy się często na tych widowiskowych wbiciach, takich na przykład, jakim popisał się przed chwilą Liang Wenbo. Na ten poziom gry taktycznej u Trumpa w ostatnich sezonach wzrósł tak bardzo, że no, można już chyba powiedzieć o kompletnym zawodniku. I pudłuje łatwiejszą od poprzedniej bili mimo wszystko Liang Wenbo.
Sporo presji na pewno było na tym zagraniu, akurat no, przy tych przyruchach nerwowych Lianga Wenbo. No właśnie, w tych stresujących sytuacjach często to wychodzi u Chińczyka. No a to powoduje, że jakieś błędy są przez niego popełniane. Układ wcale nie taki prosty dla Judda Trumpa, przynajmniej tutaj na starcie tego podejścia. Jak niby pootwierane czerwone, ale sporo przestrzeni pomiędzy nimi. No to już w pierwszym zagraniu Judd Trump starał się coś tutaj uruchomić.
5. Six.
No ładnie teraz zagrywa Judd Trump z taką opóźnioną, wsteczną rotacją. Też sporo tutaj tego przesunięcia było. No nie jest idealna pozycja do czerwonej, ale jak najbardziej jest to bila, na której można kontynuować podejście.
14.
Kąt na niebieskiej nie odpowiada Trumpowi. Żeby wygodnie powrócić do czerwonych, już znalazł sobie to miejsce, z którego z pół dystansu będzie mógł zagrywać. No i to z lewej ręki nawet możliwe, że dałoby radę z przedłużką złożyć się bezpośrednio. Nie boi się jednak zagrań z krzyżaka. Judd Trump też dobrze dopracowany ten element.
Thank you. 20. $27. $28.
No dobrze to wygląda na stole dla Judda Trumpa. Coraz więcej porządku, coraz bardziej klarowny ten układ. A już sporo przewagi na liczniku Anglika.
36.
W porannych dzisiejszych spotkaniach bardzo szybko zamknął swój mecz Judd Trump. Jako pierwszy zameldował się w ćwierćfinale, pokonując Lianga 4-1.
43.
No, mimo tego, że już dzisiaj miał okazję gry Judd Trump, nie do końca jeszcze te pozycje dopracowane. Brakuje do precyzji, do której przyzwyczaił nas sam Judd Trump odrobinę. Nie na tyle dużo jednak, żeby się całkowicie pogubić. To bardziej kwestia tego może nieodpowiedniego kąta albo jego braku. Cały czas jednak może kontynuować podejście.
Tak sobie pomyślałem, że właściwie pokazując, że Trumpa na antenie, to mało emocji mamy.
Mhm. Nawet się nie boisz, że spudłuje. Wygląda chyba na najbardziej skoncentrowanego na grze Judd Trump, snookerzysta, który pozostaje w turnieju. Bardzo zdeterminowany. Powiedział, że też w wywiadzie, że to, że nie ma kibiców, nie zrobiło zbyt dużej różnicy. On wie, do czego dąży, wie, jaki ma cel w tym turnieju. Czy kibice zasiadają na trybunach, czy nie, cel jest taki sam. Ten kanon przed chwilą.
56.
Warto zwrócić na niego uwagę.
No ciekaw jestem, czy to było zaplanowane właśnie, no ale chyba tak.
Chyba tak, a to tym bardziej pokazuje nie tylko kreatywność w myśleniu, ale też pokłady precyzji u Judda Trumpa. No i mamy 67 przewagi, 59 na stole.
63.
No jakąś tam bilę wbił i to w sumie też dobrze dla Judda Trumpa. Absolutnie jest to zagranie, które zamyka już definitywnie tą partię.
Gdyby wpadła tylko biała, a nie czerwona, może jeszcze dostałby Liang, bo podchodził 1-0.
Trump. Druga partia otwiera Liang, bo no szybko tego frame'a pierwszego zapisał na swoje konto Anglik.
Ogromny cel dla Lianga Wenbo. Z 4 czerwonych właściwie złożona taka ściana, do której można było białą dotaczać. No ale to inicjatywę cały czas ma Judd Trump oczywiście. To on wyprowadza białą bilę w górę stołu, zmusza do trochę trudniejszych rozwiązań swojego rywala.
Ominąć brązową to jest zadanie dla białej bili zagranej przez Lianga Wenbo. No, czy przypadkiem tutaj się nie ustawił wózek? Spogląda na to Judd Trump.
złożony w kierunku czerwonej, od której można się odstawiać, którą można też wbijać i bardzo agresywnie nastawiony jest Liang, bo zazwyczaj on się często po prostu sam nie potrafi pohamować. Pewnie wiedział, że to rozwiązanie jest szalenie ryzykowne, że tu można wystawić i czerwoną na dole stołu, i tę, którą się samemu wbija. No ale i tak atakował, i tak szukał swojej szansy.
Zdziwiony jestem tą decyzją Wenbo. Ma już jedną partię straty w tym.
No bo oczywiście obarczane są jeszcze większą presją.
Three. Four.
No tak niby niedokładnie pozycjonował Judd Trump do tej najniżej położonej czerwonej, ale od razu inna wynaleziona przez Anglika. No i właśnie, to jest ta różnica, mam wrażenie, u Judda Trumpa, że bardzo dobrze radzi sobie po pierwsze na trudnych układach, a po drugie potrafi podtrzymywać swoje podejście i bardzo pewnie się czuje na tych trudniejszych rozwiązaniach, trudniejszych biciach, trudniejszych pozycjonowaniach. No dużo więcej ma do zaoferowania po prostu na stole Judd Trump.
Seven.
Zgadza się w 100%. Wielu zawodników profesjonalnych, nawet tych rozstawionych bardzo nisko, potrafi sobie z tymi łatwymi układami radzić w miarę dobrze. Natomiast jeżeli już chodzi o ratowanie breaka, czy o takie mniej schematyczne rozwiązania, kreatywne myślenie, no tam gdzieś rzeczywiście pojawiają się błędy. U Trumpa tych błędów jest jak na lekarstwo. No też podobać się może, mnie osobiście podoba się w grze Trumpa ta kreatywność wspominana. To, że on jest czasami zupełnie całkowicie wyłamany z pewnych schematów myślenia, jeszcze takich oldschoolowych, budowania breaków. On potrafi gdzieś poza pudełkiem, jak to się mówi, myśleć.
Twenty-two.
22 oczka na razie przewagi Judda Trumpa. Za chwilę powinno to prowadzenie rosnąć jeszcze szybciej, bo już na dobre zadomowił się na bili czarnej.
No i dokładnie, można powrócić do tego zagrania z partii pierwszej, do tego błędu, którego dopuścił się Liang Wenbo na bili brązowej.
30.
No i tutaj można jeszcze usprawiedliwić, jak najbardziej należało tą bilę atakować, ale ta czerwona z tej partii, no, po której sporo miał tutaj do stracenia Liang Wenbo, uważam, że była bardzo złym
Judd
wyborem.
Trump, 30.
No ale też pokazuje Judd Trump, że nie jest robotem, jest tylko człowiekiem. Czasami może się pomylić, nawet i na nie takim trudnym zagraniu. No dobre miejsce na stole znajduje Liang Wenbo po tej odstawnej. Będzie miał odcięty prawie wszystkie czerwone. Judd Trump tylko ta po prawej stronie. Wydaje się, że jest możliwa do zagrania. No, zdaje się, że jest tutaj ustawiony wózek. Sprawdza to wszystko Liang Wenbo. No, musi mieć pewność, jeżeli będzie faktycznie atakował. Ten wózek na pewno pozostaje czerwone. Bardzo mocno rozejdą się po stole.
Na pewno maksimum nie wykorzystał z tego ustawienia Liang Wenbo. Spróbuje to zrobić Judd Trump. Może schować właśnie białą bilę za żółtą i brązową. No dobrze, dobrze, trafione czerwone. Dobrze też siła białej bili wyczuta i tylko przyklasnąć temu zagraniu Judda Trumpa pozostaje Liangowi Wenbo.
No i właśnie, to jest różnica pomiędzy tymi niektórymi odstawnymi przeciwników Judda Trumpa, a tym, co sam zagrywa Anglik. No dzięki właśnie takim ustawieniom, jak chociażby ta bliska odległość żółtej i brązowej, no, powoduje, że trzeba to umieć wykorzystać, trzeba umieć postawić tam białą i wpędzać w tarapaty swoich przeciwników. Znakomicie to robi Judd Trump ostatnimi czasy.
Swoją drogą chyba musimy odezwać się do Glena Sullivana Bissetta, bo to kolejny mecz, w którym jesteśmy posądzani o ciężki oddech na antenie, a to sędzia ma, proszę Państwa, mikrofon za blisko twarzy ustawiony i to on.
No dokładnie, ale to już nie pierwszy raz, no to też powinien ktoś w sumie zwrócić uwagę, prawda?
No i zwracają uwagę nasi widzowie.
Ale nie nam. Tylko chodzi mi o to, że nie mówię o naszych widzach, tylko mówię o tym, że na pewno też powinny docierać te informacje do jednak organizatorów samego turnieju.
Mikrofon oczywiście ma sędzia po to, żeby było dobrze go słychać, kiedy
Judd Trump 4.
Oddycha?
mówi o breaku, mówi o faulu i chybieniu, a nie kiedy oddycha. Faul i chybienie, ale nie będzie korzystał z chybienia. Judd Trump znalazł od razu możliwość wbijania. No to akurat nie było trudne do znalezienia, ale też miał pewien plan na to, żeby spozycjonować do koloru. Na cokolwiek ten plan opiewał, raczej nie wyszło. Nie będzie decydował się na trudną niebieską Judd Trump, a na odstawną od zielonej. I biała znów za brązową i za żółtą. To jest doskonała ścianka do tego, żeby za nią chować białą bilę.
No, przeprosił za to zagranie Liang Wenbo. Oczywiście i tak zamiarem było sprowadzenie białej na dół stołu.
Yellow ball. Wenbo 1.
Pochodził, popatrzył Liang Wenbo, gdzie tam ustawić białą, jak najbardziej utrudnić najbliższe zagranie Trumpowi. No to trzeba jeszcze dokładnie zagrać, bo wbicie pozostawia dla Anglika.
Na razie na tych odstawnych wykłada się całkowicie Liang Wenbo. Nie zawsze to oznacza dopuszczenie Trumpa do możliwości wbijania, ale zazwyczaj tak. Albo zagrania dobrej odstawnej, czy nawet takiego rzutu na finkę, jakie zaprezentował nam Judd Trump przed sekundą.
No dokładnie właśnie, to jest ta różnica. Po dobrej odstawnej nie ma bili do zaatakowania, nie może rozpocząć swojego podejścia przeciwnik. Tutaj Judd Trump szybko pokazał, na czym to właśnie wszystko polega.
Five.
Kieran Nilsson w międzyczasie wygrywa pierwszą partię i zapisuje na swoim koncie w meczu z Tyrczają. U Davida Grace'a, Marka Williamsa cały czas trwa partia pierwsza. Jimmy Robertson prowadzi 1-0 strzał głodągiem. No tak wspominaliśmy o tym dobrym spotkaniu przeciwko O'Brienowi, Kierana Wilsona, ale również Mark Williams przecież tam w ogóle powracał z wyniku 1-3. Mark Williams, który też cały czas walczy o to, żeby znaleźć się po tym turnieju w ósemce.
Jeżeli John Higgins przyłączył się do akcji Zostań w domu i oglądaj snookera, to w szczególności przygląda się właśnie Williamsowi, Tepczai i Wilsonowi.
No pewnie robi co innego wieczorem, po prostu usiądzie, bo albo w ogóle może nie będzie musiał siadać.
Może nie. No na pewno dla losów Johna Higginsa i jego występów w Tour Championship dobrze, że Tepczaja i Wilson znaleźli się w ćwierćfinale. W półfinałach może pozostać co najwyżej dwóch snookerzystów, którzy mu zagrażają.
No tak, na tej jednorocznej liście może być wyprzedzony jeszcze Mark Allen. No, z tym zastrzeżeniem, że tylko John Higgins tak naprawdę zainteresowany dzisiaj wieczorem, jeśli chodzi o finał, no bo to nawet jeżeli zostanie wyprzedzony również Mark Allen, no to automatycznie John Higgins leci na 9. miejsce, a Mark Allen po prostu co najwyżej na 8 może spaść, także jemu no nie grozi to, że w turnieju najbliższy nie zagra.
Kolejne wygrywające podejście to po tej odstawnej, którą zagrywał Liang, bo trudno w sumie to nazwać odstawną. Próbą zagrania odstawnej za żółtą i na brązową. Wystawił długą bilę Trumpowi i od tamtego momentu już Trump stołu nie oddaje.
Ja do końca tej partii nie odda.
Wydaje się, że ta następna partia zaważy, czy jeszcze jakieś szanse na powrót do tego meczu będzie miał Liang Wenbo przy tak grającym Trumpie.
$50. $56. Judd Trump 56 and the frame.
56 punktów w jednym podejściu, spudłowana żółta na szczęście dla Trumpa nie oznacza straconej szansy na breaka 100-punktowego. 2-0.
Way to that mammoth bonus of £150,000, part of the European Series. He wins this tournament and he's halfway to winning this match. There'd be 2 more to go. He picks up that 150,000 plus the 50,000 first prize for winning this Gibraltar Open. And at the moment, frankly, you'd be a bit surprised if he doesn't, the way he's playing. 94% pot success is outstanding. Liang has had very little table time, as those stats confirm.
Yeah, I mean, that 40% looks pretty horrific as far as pot success, but it's a small sample size. He's only got a pot of few, and that would race up at least, but not maybe into the 90s. Not yet.
Well, I mentioned his ability from long range earlier, and that is tremendously unlucky. That really is. Just a second ago, he was on the black. Not anymore, I don't think.
Declare your colour, Wenbo.
Well, he's been asked to declare his colour. I think he will.
What? Please declare your colour.
I don't know why the referee said that, because it's pretty obvious he was going to do that, wasn't he? He got a bit of a look, the referee, didn't he?
Yeah, I think the timing of the request wasn't ideal because Liang was still trying to absorb the disappointment of not being on the black.
Thank you. Yellow ball.
Yeah, he was always going to call the yellow. Why wouldn't he? Anyway, as I say, we're not going to get involved with being critical of referees this weekend because they've all done very well to get there. Many didn't make it. And they've done a great job.
Wenbo won.
Yes, he's hit the yellow, but hand on the table from Bort. That's normally bad news if you're playing Judd Trump. He pots a very high percentage of reds like that.
1. $5. 6.
And it was almost straight. He wanted to force an angle to get down on the black. He'd like to just been a bit straighter.
13. $14.
Zhao Guodong has level with Jimmy Robertson at 1-all. Very unusual for the Reds not to do a bit more than that when Judd Trump is screwing into the bunch as he did there, but didn't move as much as he would have wanted.
No, I think he hit the wrong red first. He hit that red away from the bunch and took the pace off them when he got to the point of getting into the pack. And if anyone usually can, it's him. I mentioned yesterday actually Igor Figueiredo, who we saw playing Judd. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a player with more cue power in the game. And I know that's a big statement because there's been some powerful players. He can screw back yards and yards, that guy.
Yet again, Judd Trump finds a way to keep a break going when it looked as though it might be over.
I don't know if you saw it, Philip. I was commentating with Dave. Yes, it was a very unusual incident involving that match with Figueiredo. He came out to start, and there was just a little bit of chat before the match actually started. He'd picked the wrong cue up out of the tournament office, and he had Elliot Slesser's cue by mistake, and they made him use
25.
that cue for a few shots until the other one was available because couldn't delay the start. He potted a long red with it and a colour, missed an easy one.
26.
Judd got in, the cue arrived. It arrived actually while Judd was on a shot. Judd missed. And then Figueiredo made a break with his own cue, first shot with it and won the frame. But he actually started the match with the wrong cue because he'd picked the wrong one up out of the tournament office and wasn't allowed to go and get it
31.
because the players were ready to start. Anyway, that was yesterday. It was unusual. I haven't seen that before.
Yeah, there's been plenty
32.
that's been a bit unorthodox about this event for obvious reasons.
We should also mention, actually, Anthony Hamilton, who I feel very sorry for. His cue got smashed in half in the baggage area of his flight. And, he did that cue his whole career, 35 years, the same cue, and it was smashed in two, and I feel really sorry for him.
39.
Hope he can get either it repaired, which seems unlikely, or a new cue that will get him going for whenever he plays next. That was a really unfortunate thing. It was in one of those ski
40.
protection covers, but it still buckled in half. That was unfortunate, to say the least.
It's an occupational hazard, isn't it, for a snooker player with so much travelling involved? They're always very concerned about the welfare of their cues. So often we've heard of cues going missing, being lost in transit, on occasion being stolen. Of course, it famously happened to Stephen Hendry, didn't it,
47.
on the eve of the World Championship?
Well, he had his cue stolen, and he also ended up having his cue smashed in half,
48.
baggage reclaim as well, and it was a cue he'd used for years, but got used to another one.
Meanwhile, Liang Wenbo, who was desperately unlucky, it has to be said, to snooker himself on the black after knocking in a good long red and then playing
54.
on the yellow. All he could do was hit the yellow. He couldn't leave Trump in an awkward spot. Trump duly knocked in the long red, and it's looking like another frame-winning break. Slight kick he got there is not going to trouble him.
It's a bit of a no race at the moment, this match, isn't it? And
55.
Yang has not played all that well, and he's not had any luck either. And at the moment, he's going to have probably just, I think, 3 balls to have got to this point. In the best of 7, he's way behind now. And if this
62.
goes in, it will definitely be 3-0.
$63.
Yeah, this is ruthless stuff from Trump. This is the kind of clinical snooker he's been showing for 2 seasons now. When he gets the chance to punish his opponent, it's very rare for him not to do so with something big. He hasn't always produced his A game. But like all
69.
great players before him, the B and C games are extremely strong as well. And it just feels as though he's adding extra facets to his game all the time, making him an even more formidable prospect to face.
And one thing we can say
70.
is that he's got the hunger, because he's here, isn't he, in Gibraltar, with all the troubles in the world at this moment in time. He's here trying to pick up the bonus. Neil Robertson's not here. He was the one in possession of the most points. I know that there were reasons, and Neil has expressed that one of his sons hadn't been feeling all that well, and he was, I think, also trying to get himself ready for the Tour Championship, but he just probably
77.
hoped that Judd didn't win. And Neil is also the consummate pro. He couldn't make it, unfortunately, this week. Reasons I explained and he explained.
Fairly glum-looking Liang, cursing his luck on this occasion, and it was very unlucky
83.
that he didn't get on the black. Had he done so, he could well have made this kind of break and got himself right
84.
back in the match. Those are the margins between success and failure. They're very fine in this sport, but Trump really beginning to flow now. 63 in the first frame, 56 in the second, and this looks like being century number 92 for the season. Incredible
91.
feat.
$92.
Yeah, just got a little extra bit of work to get onto the yellow. I think it's a natural up and down. He's got to get this cue ball past the brown. It's almost like he might play a stun shot and come the green side, actually. Yep. But with the yellow away from its spot, it took a little bit more work, but that is absolutely perfect.
99.
Well, it must feel strange for the
101.
players to make a century and not hear any clapping in the background. But it doesn't affect the professionalism and determination and focus of Trump. Yes, no audience
104.
to play in front of, but millions watching at home, and he's delivering again.
Yes, it's quite surreal, although we have Championship League, and that's been the case for many years.
108.
It's played behind closed doors for betting purposes. And Judd has won that as well, for what it's worth. A couple of occasions.
113.
Yes, Scott Donaldson has won the most recent version for his first professional title, one of the most improved players on the circuit, Donaldson. But in the meantime, it's a break of
Yeah, Trump
113
113
from Judd Trump to go with the earliest century today against Liang. 92 for the season. An extraordinary tally, and Liang Wenbo staring down the barrel here. He knows it. He trails Judd Trump by 3 frames to 0. Well, the one good thing about a best of 7, if you're 3-0 down, is you're not out, because many times in the past we've seen that deficit reversed and the player behind prevail 4-3. But it's a different proposition when you're playing Judd Trump in the form he's in at the moment. Very long odds for Liang to get back into this.
Chance early in the frame to mention James Windsor, who's watching, big snooker fan, watching in bed. Ron Florax, who's watching, he is Q Tracker, a tremendous website which follows the game very closely. Ron is saying he hasn't seen much of the snooker, but Judd looks indestructible. They're strong words, but I know what you're saying. He's playing better than everyone else by some margin still.
Meanwhile, Kyron Wilson now leads Tepchire and New 2-0. A rare miss from Trump from long range. He very nearly fluked the red, but having left it over the pocket, it may have given Liang a bit of a headache. Mark Williams has taken the first frame against David Grace. Jimmy Robertson's 2-1 up on Zhao Guodong. Whoever wins that plays this in the last 4 later. Liang's best showing this season was a quarter-final run at the UK Championship. He started the season playing with Wenbo Liang for China B in the World Cup, and they went all the way to the final, losing to Scotland in the shape of John Higgins and Stephen Maguire. There have been signs this season of some of the old form of Liang. He really did fall off the radar for a couple of seasons, which is why he slipped down to 35 in the world. He was as high as 11 3 years ago.
It's got one of those looks about it, this frame, isn't it? With the red over the pocket, it's not impossible that we could get a re-rack here. It's an early shout. Don't particularly want one, but who would take the risk and leave that on? It could be that the players might come to that conclusion after a few shots. Because Judd's only going to just nestle the cue ball into them there, isn't he? That's what he's going to do.
Yeah, and I don't think they'll hang around if they feel as though a stalemate is in the offing here. Another defensive shot from Liang.
Quite a bit of eye contact between the two players. The eyes meeting across an empty room instead of a crowded room. That would be, wouldn't it? Just saying that perhaps the re-rack. I think it'll happen personally. And it should happen quickly. The red over the hole is the reason for that. Now, what's happening here? Nothing, basically. Rack them up, guys. Come on, let's do it.
Well, normally if the players aren't in agreement about that, the referee would intervene after a few shots to say you've got a certain number of shots to move the frame on, otherwise we will start again.
Yeah, and Liang Wenbo, unless he's in an adventurous mood, as Glenn Sullivan Bissett, the referee, I think that Liang might just fancy setting them up, or he just might be thinking that he's not happy with the way things are going. He might take a risk and see if he can pot the red in unusual means. Question is, can he drop into the red this time? I suspect he can, although he might leave that left-hand red if he tried to do so.
Karen Wilson, meanwhile, showing no signs of fatigue from that marathon match with Fergal O'Brien, which finished just a few moments before he was back on the table against Tepchairan Nu. He's about to go 3-0 up on the former shootout champion. So Wilson in good form, and of course he is a player who can claim that 8th and final spot for next week's Tour Championship in Llandudno, displacing John Higgins in the process if he wins the tournament tonight.
Well, there must be a sort of negative sort of a shot that he can play here. Just dropping into the first red perhaps. It's taken over a minute and it's not an easy one. I don't think I've seen Liang ever take longer than this on a shot. Now this might be, if he plays the shot he's looking at here, sort of a 3-ball plant. The red up over the yellow pocket. I'd love to see it. It would break the stalemate and it would be shot of the decade, I should think.
Yeah, and he better get it, otherwise it could be the last shot he plays.
He'd be leaving the world, wouldn't he? Oh, goodness me. Goodness me. Well, it's hard to describe that, but it's gone horribly wrong, hasn't it? It really has.
Liang Wenbo gave that shot an awful lot of thought. It was high risk, to put it mildly, and he didn't get anywhere near. And so an easy start of a trump. He's just knocked in 113 break. Is this the beginning of the end for Liang Wenbo in Gibraltar?
Just briefly mentioned Shabnam, who's watching from Bolton. Of course, she works in snooker, and she said, I was watching, and I was always going to be watching anyway. Never mind anything else being off. Thanks to everyone else.
Oh, goodness me, that is a surprise.
Yeah, anyone who's watching and messaging would have thought that something would have been left after that miss, but I think he's got away with it, which is outrageous. And it sums up the afternoon for for Wenbo. He's missed one and he's gone into the reds. There's nothing there.
Yeah, a rueful smile from Liang. Certainly he's had no luck. Yes, Trump has been much the better player and has dominated the table, but having missed that brown, which was a shock in itself, to not leave anything, remarkable, really. So is he going to go for another high-risk shot here?
I think he is. It's awkward queuing is the problem. That's why he's looked at it again.
Well, this is the kind of pot that Liang is actually very adept at, but obviously he's on the cusp here of defeat. If he misses, it's unlikely that Trump would let him off again. He is a great long potter. Produced some spellbinding shots during that run to the English Open title in the first year of Eurosport's home nations, beating Trump in the title match. Hasn't beaten him since. Long way off.
He's struggling horribly, isn't he? He really is. It's been a horrid match for him so far. You've kind of all been there where you almost play a match and you don't feel you've had a game at all. It's one of those occasions.
Yeah, from the moment he missed a slightly tricky brown into the right centre pocket in the first frame after knocking in a very good red to that pocket, nothing's gone his way. But that's not a great result for Trump either, landing on the side cushion. Confirmation that Liang has potted very little and missed a few as well. But Trump has missed again, so
Trump won.
This is easily the scratchiest frame from Trump so far.
How did that not go in, by the way? That went all round the middle pocket. It's like one of the, in golf, you call it a horseshoe. It just goes all round. Goodness me, that stayed out. Never seen one react in that way.
So incredibly, Liang's going to get a third opportunity here.
Which I'm quite like, actually, that he's had an opportunity. He's been... comes his way. There was a lot of moving parts on that shot. More moving parts than a Swiss watch there. It was not nice to see. Well,
Foul.
they're both at it now. But again, look what he's left. Nothing.
Yeah, Wenbo 4.
Missed the plant by a distance, saw the cue ball disappear, but no red for Liang to go at.
A lot of people actually have been sending me messages saying that snooker behind closed doors, you know, is obviously not better, but they can accept it more than other sports. It's interesting, isn't it? You know, it is watchable under these circumstances. It doesn't really detract hugely from viewing of this for the game. Is he on the blue? If not, the snooker behind the brown it'll be.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. It's not as jarring as you might imagine it could be in the absence of an audience in the venue.
I mean, we all understand that there are bigger issues in whether snooker gets played, but you know, it is at the moment the Tour Championship. I know the very latest I can tell you is that it's on, and it will be played in front of an audience. That's what I've heard in the last few hours. But of course, they could resort to no audience, a big TV audience, and listen, everything's changing in this world, we know, so we're not going to say anything too rash, but you know, the World Championship behind closed doors, it wouldn't be ideal. The atmosphere is usually electric at the Crucible, but the alternative is no sport, no snooker. So it's worth thinking about if it's possible, and of course we don't know anything about other circumstances between now and mid-April, do we?
Yes, the World Championship is just under 5 weeks away now. And that's a long time in the current climate. But it is definitely something to consider because
Foul and a miss. Yeah, Wenbo 4.
people, frankly, have got to have something to do, haven't they? And the sporting calendar is being decimated at the moment, as you mentioned earlier, Neil. Snooker's one of the few ones to have survived thus far.
That looks right to me, John. Wenbo. Thank you.
It's a decision out of our hands, but we'd love to bring it to you, coverage. But anyhow, that's for other people to make big decisions on. In the meantime, I hope you're enjoying this. That was a good shot. Got there in the end.
Confirmation now that Karen Wilson is 3 up with 4 to play over Tepshire and New. Mark Williams leading David Grace 1-0, and Grace needs snookers in the second.
He's done well, David Grace, isn't he? Because he's a sort of low-ranked player. And he's had a good run here in Gibraltar. Could be coming to an end, of course, but it's early days yet. Looks like he'll be a couple of frames down. He explained.
And Jimmy Robertson and Zhao Guodong are now level at 2 each, and whoever prevails there will play. You would think Judd Trump. You never know, but Trump just a frame away. But that's a mistake. That's a mistake. Catching the red on the top cushion was not part of the plan. And here is an opportunity of sorts for Liang. Not an easy starter. Liang asking Glenn Sullivan-Bissett to clean the cue ball. It's not a gimme, this, is it? Not the kind of red that you want when you're 3-0 down, having struggled, but you should get it.
Yes, he didn't have to worry about position. The blue was always going to be there for him. So it was all about the pot only. Of course, if Karen Wilson and Mark Williams won, they'd play each other. So that would be your player in the final with a chance of playing next week in Llandudno. Those two players are still in the hunt. Now Trump is in the bottom half of the draw. Now, if they was to meet in the final, Trump and one of those two, again, not just counting anyone else's chances, but there'd be lots of different angles to that match. Interesting. Now none of them have won. I don't say he's not the Browning.
7.
No, and he didn't deserve to, so that's okay. It's worked out a little bit fortunately, but the first semblance of good luck that he's had in the match, to be honest.
Mark Williams has duly taken a 2-0 lead over David Grace, so the Williams-Wilson showdown remains the likely scenario.
Doesn't
look as though there's much doing there for Liang. Unless there's a plant of some sort. Well, there was a red there for Liang, but it stays out. Nothing really going for him. Just overcut it.
Just another footnote to all of this. The final is best of 7 tonight as well. Other tournaments, including Riga, have gone to longer frames for the final. Riga is best of 9. Now, again, I'm jumping the gun, but if it was Trump against, well, anybody, but especially one of the possible Tour Championship candidates, that would be some best of 7. Judd Trump, if he was in there, it would be the difference between 200,000 or 20,000 pounds. 200 being the bonus 150, plus 50 grand for winning this. That'd be surely the most valuable best of 7 ever played in snooker.
4.
Yes, you know differently. I'd be surprised if there was a more valuable snooker match played under those sort of frame duration. Anyway, like I say, we'll just see what happens on that. Be something worth seeing, though, wouldn't it? Great shot. Fabulous camera work as well, and we must give the camera staff who travel on the snooker tour
7.
a lot of credit. They're there. They've been busy. Yesterday they were on for, I think, something like 14, 15 hours virtually solid, doing some sterling work, and they're there again today on duty. Little band of camera people. Then
8.
in this case we have seen camera women, but I think it's men, likes of Duncan and Darryl and a few others that are over there. Anyway, Trump has missed that one and hit it very badly.
Judd Trump 8.
Yeah, he's missed more balls in this frame than I think he has for most of the season combined. And some of them quite glaring errors, actually. This is another one. So perhaps not quite so indestructible as we thought. It's a good word to describe him from one of our viewers earlier. He has looked indestructible for most of this season and quite a bit of last as well. But he is human.
Well, he hit that pin very badly, didn't he? He overhit it. He didn't get anywhere near the pot, so the odd shot's going wrong.
We'll just give Liang that little bit of encouragement. If he can win this frame, maybe the comeback could be on. He is one of those players who, if he hits a purple patch, can
6.
be very dangerous. Trump knows that better than anyone, having come off second best to him in 4 of their previous 9 meetings, including that English Open final. Liang also beat him in the UK Championship 5 years ago, and was actually 7-3 up against him the year he beat him in the English Open in the first round of the World Championship, before Trump came back to win 10-8. That's a match that Liang certainly should have won. Well, this is clearly by far his best chance of the afternoon. 28 in front.
Thank you. $15. $21. Thank you. 22. $28. 29.
So just a colour, and Liang will have stopped the rot. Frankly, that looked unlikely at the start of this frame. He took on a very ambitious attempted plant from long range, missed it by a mile, then missed another pot by a mile, but strangely, Judd Trump was unable to punish him on this occasion.
35.
And eventually Liang's got in with this little break.
36.
To avoid the whitewash, at least. The question is this the start of a famous comeback or just a mere blip on the road to Trump's semi-final place?
42.
Yes, he just wasn't in the match, and it looked like he wasn't going to get in the match, but in a way I'm pleased he has. And as you say, and I think in 3-0 up in the best of 7, you don't ever think that you've won. I don't think Judd Trump ever believed it was
50.
over. There's always the chance of a comeback over this sort of duration.
Liang Wenbo 50. And the front.
A half century then from Liang Wenbo. The first time he's made anything significant in this match. It keeps his still fairly slender hopes alive, but Judd Trump still needs 1 frame. He leads by 3 frames to 1. 56 and 113. But then a series of uncharacteristic errors as he looked to put the match to bed in the 4th frame has allowed Liang Wenbo just a glimmer of hope here, helped by a half century of his own. The first break he's made of the afternoon, which has been by and large very frustrating for him. He hasn't had much luck. He's been outplayed, but he's still in there fighting. And that is another terrific long red from Liang.
1.
Sadly for him, the cue ball hasn't quite held up. His body language suggests that he thought it would, but it ran a couple of inches too far. There are vital statistics and not so vital ones. Positional success. I'm not sure how that really differs in any meaningful way from pot success, but anyway.
Well, that was definitely not a pot success, that one. He missed the blue by a long way. Again, difficult shot, but he knew he was leaving plenty if the worst happened, which is exactly what did happen.
2 each still between Jimmy Robertson and Zhao Guodong. Still 51 points left in frame 5. Robertson leading by 13 points in that frame. Kyron Wilson is back at the table and 3-0 up on Tepchairan Nu.
8.
Now Mark Williams is also at the table on a break of 12, looking to go 3-0 up on David Grace.
Nine.
Well, he can do no more there than go into them. He couldn't really have gone in with any more pace because he might have arced around the bunch. Would have gone, I think, thrown wider from the putting angle, and he might have missed the bunch. But he just hoped to be on one. He played it well enough, really.
Judd Trump 16.
So he's kind of not quite at it today, Judd. I know he's in front, but in his first match he definitely didn't play as well as he could. It was a hangover sort of match, if you like, from last night for both players against Li Hang. Here he's doing enough, but as I say, I've seen him play better. But with Judd, you know that if he's in the tournament, then he's got something in the locker. Now here he might be interested in the yellow and blue being close together and playing a safety shot hiding in behind those. Well, he's not played that well at all. Got the cue ball up there, but the red's gone with it. Definitely what he tried.
Just seems to have lost a little bit of focus since taking that 3-0 lead. Perhaps looking at Liang's body language and the way he was playing and thinking that the job was virtually done. Well, if that red hadn't caught the middle pocket jaw there, it might just have gone in. At least he hasn't left it.
Thank you. Spider.
Trump requesting the spider here because he's having to bridge over the pink, as you can see, to get to the cue ball to play the safety. No great problem for him. Oh, that's a handy nudge on the brown. That rather sums up his day and Liang Wenbo's.
Yeah, he played in behind the yellow and blue, but not in that way.
Doesn't want to come the wrong side of the red. He's done well. 3-2 now, Xiao Guodong against Jimmy Robertson, and Mark Williams is about to go 3-0 up on David Grace.
Well, he spent a lot of time in this match playing out of snookers or with awkward positions on the table. Liang. Here's another one. Well, this surely isn't hard enough, is it?
Foul and a miss. Judd trump
The
4.
tables are quick, but not that quick. And his misjudgment has left the red on. It's a tough shot he was faced with, I agree. To really nestle it in.
1.
Into the bunch, but having got it wrong, Trump with another chance here to perhaps put this match away. The signs are that he's not quite in flying form. Taking a risk here. And maybe on a red. Either into the left
8.
middle or down the top left. The easier shot to play in the middle bag, of course.
9.
Always so good at coming in and out of bulk to play on a red from a colour. He's done it so well.
15.
Just a queuing shot. Mid-range red. He played it just to
16.
roll it through. In fact, he played it a little differently to what I thought. And Liang Wenbo has not had a particularly enjoyable match here. The balls haven't run kindly. He hasn't played well either.
$23.
Yes, Trump has definitely had the rub of the green in this match, and he did lose his
24.
way just a little in the previous frame, but determined now, I'm sure, already 43 in front to put this match to bed here and now, and look forward to the semi-finals, where he'd be just 2 matches away from that £200,000 payday. Wow. He's already earned over $250,000. $750,000, I should say, this season. Of course, he passed the £1 million barrier last season, the first player to do that. Well over 5 million banked in career earnings in total for Trump. But at this stage of the game, it's all about titles. He's got that Hendry-esque hunger for silverware. And for records.
39.
And he could break a couple more this evening.
46.
Red in the colour, and it's all over, barring snookers.
$47.
Maybe with a little bit of left-hand side to get low on the black. Yep, this is the one. Takes him through to the next round, semi-finals. Barring snookers, and that may just be a possibility now.
54.
His fourth half-century of the afternoon. So even though it feels as though Trump hasn't been firing on all cylinders, he's still been good enough to make 63, 56, 54 and 113.
No, that's a good point. He has played probably better than it first appears.
Judd Trump 54.
Because those stats tell you he's played well, but he's missed a few in between, hasn't he? That's, I think, what we're getting at. Thanks to everyone that's watched today, by the way. If this match ends soon, enjoyed the interaction over the last 3 days with people who enjoy snooker and some that are new to it. Hope everyone's keeping well. And it's been good to have your company. Could be some life left in this match, but of course, we've seen frames won like this before, but not that often. And if this black doesn't go in, I think, well, there won't be a handshake, but it'll be the equivalent of.
Yeah,
It'll be a concession, let's call it that.
It'll be the elbow bump, won't it? If this doesn't go in. Liang already needs 2 snookers, even if it does. Well potted, so still some hope. Although that's not worked out.
Wow, it's such a good curing shot. He hit it. It's hard to hit that shot as hard as he did from where he was, with a lot of pace on it. But again, he didn't have any luck. He wanted to take it down to just one red left, and it would have liked to have left the red below the black. And he can't afford to take low-value colours either here, so either way, it's not going well. That's a particularly good shot, though. So, as I say, the aim will be, I think, to pop the reds in the middle of the table with high-value colours. Get the snooker on the red, which is underneath the black currently. I guess you don't know until you try. Again, it's a terrific shot, this. Saving his best shots for the very end of this match, or what could be the end.
16.
It's a measure of his
17.
talent that he's made 3 1-4-7 breaks. In fact, in qualifying for the World Championship in 2018, he made a maximum. 2 frames later, he missed the black for a second one. Extraordinary. That's how good he can be. We haven't seen a lot of that today.
24.
But he's fighting to keep this match alive.
$25.
He can take the pink and he'd still just need the 2 snookers. He's just sizing up where he'd like to leave the cue ball behind the black off this final red and make life as difficult as he can for Trump. He'd love that red to be close to one of the colours up the table to make life more difficult.
No, you're absolutely right. It's one thing getting the snooker, which I think he will get. It looks cast iron, this snooker.
31.
But he'd like to get the cue ball right in behind the black. And as you say, the red near a colour, so a free ball becomes very much part of the equation. Well, it's not the tightest of snookers.
Liam Wenbo 31.
I don't know if the left pocket is in the way of the one cushion escape.
Well, a few moments ago, it looked as though this match was well and truly over. But suddenly now, there's a bit of life left in it. Where's this cue ball going to end up?
I wondered if he hit that. Maybe my eyes are deceiving me. He obviously didn't.
Liam Wenbo 4.
Because no one seems to have said anything. But He got ever so close to that. I thought I saw the red move, but I think it's probably my eyes. No, I think it's my eyes. Get them checked, I think, after that. Didn't hit it. The referee was correct.
Well, obviously, if the red goes in, it will be game over. And it's the kind of red Trump usually gobbles up. Not this time. .38 the difference, 35 on. One snooker needed.
One.
Yes, it was an opportunity, wasn't it, to get a red and the black. Take them while they're there. You saw a lot of movement once again there. I think his logo came off. The whole works happened there. That tells you that he's not hitting the ball as well as he can, because
8.
there was a lot of movement around playing that shot, getting the cue ball around the table.
Kyron Wilson is the first player through to the semi-finals. He's whitewashed Tepchire Nu. Good effort from Wilson, who was embroiled in that epic match with Fergal O'Brien in the previous round, but it hasn't remotely drained him. He's brushed Tepchire aside without losing a frame.
And what's the plan here to get this snooker? How's he going to do it? At the moment, he just keeps potting balls.
Mark Williams remains 3-0 up on David Grace, although Grace is at the table in the fourth with a 33-point lead.
Well, he's still potting balls.
13.
Yes, the plan's to get one here. He might just try and screw the cue ball in behind the blue. He's not a particularly easy or promising position to be in. He's done well, and he's competed hard since he came back to the table needing snookers earlier. Got himself this far into it. Well, it's not a good shot.
Yeah, Wenbo, 13.
Had Trump potted the brown, or been able to pot the brown, Liang would then need 3 snookers with 3 balls left, so that would surely have been it. As it is, it's still just the 1 with the 4 colours remaining.
Yeah, I think
4.
the blue wasn't really helping him that much where it is. It's a little bit too much in the middle of the table for the snookers, but now there'll be no more of this potting balls. He won't at any point pot the blue and try and get one on the pink. But the pink and black are fairly favourable, in fact. Just slide the cue ball in behind the black on this shot is the aim.
Yeah, Wenbo, 4.
Well, he may be in a snooker. He would expect Judd to get this, but playing with a trace of left-hand side. It's just a simple one cushion escape. You have to make them a little bit more taxing than that one, I think. There's always a sort of a wonder shot in there at this level where you can get your opponent into a horrid snooker that he's not favoured to hit.
Very close to the double kiss there, which might have been terminal. First things first for Liang in this kind of scenario. Make sure the object ball is safe. If you get the snooker, that's the bonus, but cannot afford to leave the blue on.
Now, how about this one? How about this one? Is there a gap? It would kind of sum up how the match had gone if there was a gap between the pink and black. I think there is. That's unlucky.
Still the one snooker needed for Liang.